Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video with special guest Tamed.
Hello.
Hello. We have just been on a cruise. We were on Royal Caribbean's Anthem of the Seas for a week. It was our first time with Royal Caribbean. We have cruised
4 times.
4 times previously, all with P&O. We did 2 on Ariana. Bless her, we loved Ariana. She's out of commission now. But then we did Ventura.
And then Iona.
And then Iona, which is big. I think Anthem was bigger than Iona.
Anthem was bigger than Iona, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Anthem was bigger than Iona passenger size, but it didn't feel bigger than Iona in space size, if that makes sense.
We thought it'd be interesting to do a video comparing our Royal Caribbean experiences with our P&O experiences. And I don't know whether to try and behave neutrally throughout and then give a verdict at the end, or whether to come straight in with...
I don't think we're going to be able to.
No.
I don't think once we start talking about it, I think there's going to be a clear winner.
But we thought it might be interesting for you guys. Some of you have cruised with one or the other, I'm sure. Some of you will have cruised with both. Some of you will have never cruised at all. Some of you will think the idea of a cruise is horrific. Some of you may be wondering about whether you'd like to cruise or not. So we thought it'd be interesting to compare the two. The specifically different thing is that P&O are a British company and Royal Caribbean are a US company. So we were aware, there's a stray hair bugging me, we were aware before we went that we were going to see significant differences between the way things were done.
We did.
But it was quite interesting, I think, the comparison between the two.
I mean, the check-in process wasn't any different between the two of them. So.
But I think that's probably because I think those terminal staff work at the terminal, irrespective of which cruise company they're working for.
One of the reasons why we like cruising, and it sounds ridiculous, is that whenever you go to Southampton and you're in the cruise terminal, the staff actually seem happy to see you. They seem happy to be there. They welcome you. They go out their way. They wish you to have a nice holiday. You don't get that with airport staff. Airport staff, they're just in, out, off. Yeah.
I find airports really, really stressful. I find the whole airport experience, I don't mind flying, but I find the whole airport experience excruciatingly stressful and expensive, and by the time you come out of an airport you feel like you need to lie down and possibly a massage. That was a seamless segue.
You did it so well.
Segue into mentioning something that I have been gifted, and we're going to go into it more further in the video, but I was contacted by a company called BOB&BRAD who asked me if we would like to try out their Q2 mini massage gun. BOB&BRAD are the most famous physical therapists on the internet. Over a decade ago, they set out to provide the best collection of get fit, stay healthy and pain-free information that anyone could find. Along with inventing a growing number of products, BOB&BRAD have become active and trusted voices on social media. And with over 4 million YouTube subscribers, they are proud to have helped millions of people of all ages navigate personal challenges, physical challenges, enjoy better health and have a laugh or two along the way. The BOB&BRAD Q2 mini massage gun is a lightweight and portable powerhouse designed for on-the-go muscle recovery. It weighs just 1.5 pounds, it's easy to carry in your gym bag or take anywhere, has a brushless motor, dual shaft drive structure and 5 massage heads with 5 speeds to offer a powerful and customisable muscle relief experience. What the heck is it doing in this video, you might ask? One of the things that we saw on Anthem that we did not do because of the pricing was that you could go and have a massage in the spa, and they were using a similar item. So Tammy was like, I would have loved to do that, but it was too much money, and we'll talk about money in a minute. And I was like, well, don't rush, because I've got one of those at home waiting to be tried out. So stick around if you'd like to see me trying this on Tammy later in the video. So, airport stress. Seamless. Seamless plug. So, airport stress. I don't like it.
No.
By the time I get by the time I get on the plane, I'm exhausted, because one of the things about airports is how far you have to walk. Yeah. Even if it's a tiny airport, you end up walking a million miles.
Airport, I'm sure they just send you in one day, make you do 6 laps around the airport, and then bring you back out through the same door.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. So yeah, the terminal staff were exactly the same as they would have been if we were cruising with P&O. I think I don't think there was any difference there. It was
the terminal staff at Southampton are always lovely,
and it's smooth, and you're on the ship. I would say within 20 minutes of getting out of the car, we were on the ship, probably, and that included you running off for a wee as well.
Yes, I really need to wee.
Yeah. So no difference there. But I thought there was quite a big difference when we first got on the ship. One of the differences I noticed, I don't know if you noted it, that was that as we stepped on board on P&O, there are people there actually greeting you and saying,
Yes.
welcome aboard. And I did not have that on Anthem.
No, we didn't get that on Anthem. The other thing as well that I found quite confusing is obviously you go to your muster point, don't you? As soon as you get on board, you have to go to your P&O. When we first went on Rihanna, we used to have to go to watch video, didn't we, and go to an actual place and take us life jackets. Now everything's moved kind of online, so you watch a video, don't you?
You
safety video.
Yeah.
And then you have to go to your muster point and have your card scanned, so they know that you know where your muster point is.
Which is where you will go. If they say, you know, the ship's going down, everybody get your life belts, that's where you'll go. It's I don't know why they call it muster, because everyone else in the world calls it the assembly point, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what that is. You were saying what you noticed about it.
Yeah, so when we sort of went there, it was quite confusing because ours was the theatre and there was 2 levels to it.
Indeed, I've forgotten that, yeah.
Yeah, so you had A1 and A2 and then A3. So our friends who we went with, Tamsin and Tina, their muster station was the bar, wasn't it? The 270 bar?
I think it was, yeah.
Is that what I got?
Is it called the 270?
Yes!
Spent the entire week calling it the 720, but she finally got it.
Yes. And theirs was there, wasn't it? So we were on the floor, so the theatre was there, and we were like, right, we'll meet back here. And then we got to the theatre, which is where we were told to go, to find out we actually had to go a deck lower, which is fine, but when you don't really know where you are, and then we had to make our way back to meet them, so it's kind of confusing having 4 muster points in one
room.
place.
Yeah, on 2 different levels. Yeah,
that was quite confusing when we got there. But yeah, we found us cabins, didn't we?
Yeah. Now you mentioned the app. One of the significant details we noticed between Royal Caribbean and P&O was that everything is done via the app.
Yeah.
On P&O, they are still, to my knowledge, unless they've changed it very recently, giving you a newsletter at the end of each day, a printed newsletter at the end of each day with everything that you need for the following day, all the times of everything and all the information you need for your port and whether it's formal night. Royal Caribbean don't give that out. They do exist, but we didn't find out they existed until nearly the end of the cruise. And you can only get them by asking at the guest services. They're not just issued by your room attendant every night. And the app didn't work all the time.
No, it wasn't. Things moved around a bit, didn't they, on it? So where you thought you were going for something actually turned out to be not where it was, and it wasn't happening, and it was... Yeah,
and they changed the times of things, and sometimes you'd open the app and there'd be absolutely no entertainment showing at all, and then you'd open the app later on and discover that it had been on and you'd missed it because it wasn't showing and stuff like that.
And P&O do this thing as well, don't they? So P&O call theirs the Horizon, and there's one there when you get in your room, and it always has a picture of the captain of the ship on it, doesn't it? So you know instantly that you can put your faith in that man.
Yes,
You've got a nice picture of the captain.
Yeah, in a uniform, looking strong,
they also do have female captains on P&O. I know there's at least one of them. I do believe her name's Sarah, if I remember rightly, if I'm reading through the magazine. And yeah, you get that picture of the captain there, and you know you're putting faith in that person then, and you get welcome aboard, and that was it. But when we got to the cabin, we had no welcome literature in the room, did we?
There was nothing at all in our room. Now, it turned out that Tamsin and Tina had got some stuff in their room. They'd got a hardback book, apparently, about Royal Caribbean and the various ships, and they got some stuff. There was nothing in our room. They had
lotions and body washes and...
freebies. They had shampoo.
Yeah, but in our room, in our cabin, when we turned up, there was nothing. There was no... So when we've always gone with P&O, there's always been a book for you to read. So I don't know if you watched the last one when we went on Iona.
There's a welcome aboard booklet that tells you about stuff.
Carla said to me, "What are you doing?" I was sat in the bed and I was like finding out where all the food is, because that's that's what we do when we go on cruises. But there was none of that. There was no literature in the cabin at all. So we found that quite strange. And also P&O give you a little ship map as well, don't they, to carry around with you?
Yes, there was no ship map, so you can carry out ship with a P. There was a little card. I thought that was quite nice. There's a little card by the phone, and it had a QR code, and you scanned it, and if you needed anything extra, you just ticked it off, and your room attendant would bring it to you. That was quite a nice little touch.
Yeah, because when we got there, our beds were double, weren't they?
Our beds had been set up wrongly, which we've never had that on P&O.
No.
Wouldn't happen on P&O.
Actually, as you can see, I think people are going, "You're giving the game away, mate."
Do you think? Oh, okay, I'll try and be more neutral.
So yeah, and that was it. But one things we did notice about the cabin in Royal Caribbean is we had an inside cabin, same as what we had when we were on Iona. The cabin space was a little bit more, wasn't it? It had a little bit more floor space, and it had a virtual window, which we did enjoy. It was quite bright at night.
I have put up a cabin tour, by the way, so if you haven't seen it, I'll link it up here or here, and you can go and have a look at it.
It was quite bright at night, and there was curtains around it, but it was quite nice. So when you were sitting there during the day, you felt like you did have.
We're not sure if ours was faulty, because Tina and Tamsin said that theirs went dark at night and ours didn't.
No, ours
so
was
we're not sure if ours had a fault. And the curtains, you had to make sure you closed them properly, otherwise it was really quite bright.
Well, that's one thing I noticed, is that our curtain was hanging off at one side, but it was never put right the whole time. Yeah, that we're on the ship.
Yeah, it was off of its runners at the end, and nobody dealt with that.
Nobody dealt with that, which was strange. And we didn't report it.
We didn't do it. We didn't pull it off. It was already off when we got it.
And also the other weird thing was where the TV was, wasn't it? The TV was in such a strange place.
Yeah, even for when the bed had been set up in the double bed configuration that it was when we first arrived, one of the people in the bed would not have been able to see the telly from where they were lying. And once the beds were split into the twin beds, you had even less chance because you were further over then. So it was odd that the television faced the single armchair and the virtual window where only one person would be able to see it at the best. Yeah.
But there was plenty of wardrobe space, plenty of drawer space, enough space to keep everything. I say it had a little bit more floors, but we can only go on what we've seen with P&O with the inside cabin we had on Iona. There may be bigger ones, but I felt there was a little bit more. It felt a little bit more roomy.
But they didn't take our suitcases away. On P&O, if you put your empty suitcases out where you've unpacked, and the steward takes them away and puts them in the hold and brings them back for you the night before, they didn't. There was no literature informing us of whether that was a thing, and because we didn't know whether that was possible, we just kept them in the cabin and kind of skirted around them for the week. But I found that a mild, because it's not quite high enough to put them under the bed. Yeah. So I found that a mild annoyance that the suitcases were left with you. And with regards to the telly, let me just mention the fact that on P&O there are hundreds of films on the in-cabin television that you can choose to watch free of charge. In fact, on our last cruise,
between the cinema and the room, I think we watched 28 films.
28 films in a fortnight.
28 films in a fortnight.
They have them. They have some films on Anthem, or I'm only going by Anthem of the Seas. I don't know if they're the same on all the ships, but I assume so. They didn't have as many, and you had to pay to rent them, and they were pricey. So
they weren't cheap for what they were.
Yeah, I had a look. I thought, we might watch Pretty Woman. Now that's a 30-plus-year-old film, isn't it?
Yeah, it was out when I was 16. Definitely before then. So it's over 30
and
years
it was going to be $12 to rent that for 24 hours.
You didn't get it for the whole week.
$12 to watch a 30-year-old film. So we didn't watch any films on the cabin, because I'm blowed if I'm paying $12 to watch old films.
Yeah, they had Harry Potter as well. It was like $15 to watch Harry Potter.
Now I don't know if that's a licensing thing with the US or something. Who knows? We can only speak from an English person's point of view and from what we're used to.
But if you've got kids, if you're going on a family holiday and you've got kids and you want them to get settled, and their nighttime routine is to get settled with a film, and you're looking at quite a hefty bill by the end of it. Just you can't. It's not even like you can buy it on day one and they can watch it, because kids watch the same thing over and over again. You can't even do that because you only get it for 24 hours. Yeah. So that could get quite costly if that was part of your kids' bedtime routine that you plan. That could get quite costly by the end of the week. Yeah. Another difference was that the room attendant said to us he would come once a day and we could choose whether he came morning or evening. We chose morning, but actually when we were talking to Tamsin and Tina afterwards, they said that their room attendant was going to come evenings, and that he was happy about that because it made his day easier. So we wondered if we'd made the wrong choice then, if we'd made our room attendant's day a bit more difficult by choosing morning. But when we first started cruising, you got 2 visits a day from your room attendant, regardless of P&O. They came in the morning and did your cabin clean, and then they came in the evening, turned down your bed and put your little chocky on the pillow. Now P&O have got rid of that. You don't get your chocky. No. You don't get your turn down, you don't get your chocky anymore. In all fairness, we used to hide them in the drawer, didn't we, so they think we'd eaten them. Yes. We used to do it with the biscuits as well. That's the other thing with Royal Caribbean, you don't get biscuits.
No biscuits. No biscuits on your coffee tray.
You didn't even get milk.
There was no coffee on your coffee tray, and there was no milk. And there was no milk. And no milk appeared during the entire week. So
you have to go to the Windjammer restaurant and get the cartons of milk.
Yeah, so we noticed little differences in the level of the service that you receive, I guess. Yeah. From that point of view. Our cabin attendant was very nice, but I only saw him once. I saw him on day 1, and I think I saw him on the last day as we were leaving.
Saw him again later. That's only because I popped back to the room to get changed one afternoon. But yeah, I did see him then. But that was it.
I think that's probably it for the actual cabin itself. Yeah, there wasn't much differences really. The layout of the ship, we found it difficult. Yeah, we found it difficult because. And I don't know if all Royal Caribbean ships are like this. They've got a lot of ships in their fleet, a lot more than P&O. So perhaps this is just one particular style. But this particular style, everything was built up around the sides. You walk through the middle of each deck, and you can't see out on most decks. And you can't get out on most decks either. You can't get out and walk along the outside deck, which you can on P&O on several of the decks.
You could on deck 5. So there was doors out onto deck 5. There? Yeah, that's where the smoking area was.
Right, okay. I've already smoking area, so I wouldn't have seen that.
Yeah, well, obviously I still vape, so you can't.
So could you walk all the way round?
No. But you also you couldn't see. The only bit on the deck you could see out of was where the actual smoking shelter was, and it was all built in. It had like glass roofs, and you could see out on it. But the rest of the deck was just lifeboats. You couldn't actually see out to sea because it was just where all the lifeboats were, and it was like they'd just taken an area that didn't have a lifeboat and put a smoking area in it. So
if you wanted to see the world go by, the ocean go by, you had to either be in the 270 bar at the front, which had
back
at the back.
It's the aft, mate. Flat end, not the pointy end, as you refer it to.
Flat end. At the 270 bar, which has panoramic window around, or you had to go up onto the
16th or 17th deck.
14
or 15, wasn't
14 or 15 for the swim decks, and then 16 was the sports arena thing.
Yeah.
And that was the only place you could see out. When you were on the ship, you could not look out. Even in the restaurants, there was very limited visibility out. It was okay if you had an actual seat by the window, but they're very built up and very enclosed. They were very nicely decorated, but you didn't feel like you were on a ship.
Yeah. I think that was where we struggled, is because the last ship we went on with P&O was Iona. And they have made, basically in the middle of the ship in the atrium, they have made a 3-story window in the middle of the ship, and it doesn't matter where you walk down, is it 5, 6 or 7 or 6, 7 or 8, whatever decks they are, you can see out, because it's just built up of 3 stores of complete windows where there's a coffee shop and a bar, and you can sit out there, you can just sit and read a book, but you can see out of these massive windows.
Yeah.
And they didn't have that on Royal Caribbean, because what they'd done is where that space was on the upper decks, they just basically used it for balcony cabins.
Yeah.
It was all just taken up with accommodation. So what they'd also done is built the shops up at the window sides as well. So as you walked out onto deck 5, which is where the bar and the shops were, you walked down the middle, and it was literally just like walking.
It felt like being in a shopping centre.
It felt like being in the mall. Yeah. It was just, you couldn't see out anywhere on the lower decks. It was just.
And I guess from their point of view, the more balconies they can build, the more, because people tend to want a balcony when they cruise. From our point of view, having an inside cabin wouldn't have mattered to us so much if there had been more outside to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I guess that pushes people then into having a balcony cabin next time. But it's a lot more money. It's a lot more money. And money seemed to be the driving force on board. On P&O, I never feel like they are working to get extra money out of me.
No, you spend what you want, and they seem to be quite happy to.
Royal Caribbean seemed to be upselling all the time. We were sold the opportunity to go to one of the specialty restaurants. We were sold that at half price, and that was great. That was an absolute bargain, because $60 each would have been pushing it a bit for that meal.
$50,
but $30 was okay.
$60 for that meal would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, but $30 was okay. It was a lovely experience. There will be a video coming up about that. I was quite happy to pay $30 for it, but for the actual volume of food you received, if I'd paid $60, I would have been like, why am I still hungry? Yeah. But even after we had been upsold that one, we were constantly bombarded by other people trying to sell us the opportunity to go to the Jamie's Italian or the Chops Grill or whatever the other one was, Izumi. And it was all the time.
Every time we sat down in Windjammer to have a meal, somebody was
sometimes you'd be eating your meal and somebody come around trying to sell you a different meal at a different place on a different night. And you'd be like, this is... Yeah, that was frustrating.
It was. Even on the first day, wasn't it, when we got there, and we went to go to the bar to collect our cups, and they were trying to do it there, weren't they? Just the first day we got on the ship. Yeah.
The prices in the shops were really high. Really high. There were lots of shops on board, lots more shops than you have on P&O, I think. But
I don't know, because with P&O, you've got, on Iona, you've got the pick and mix shop, you've got the sweet in shop.
I think there were lots more shops that we didn't want on board, is what I mean. There's watch shops and...
Watch shops. Yeah, I mean, you've got this... The thing is, as well, with P&O, they've got... I'm not saying cheaper brands of stuff, but on P&O, they've got a Pandora shop. I like a Pandora shop. They didn't have
They had jewellery.
But it was ridiculously expensive jewellery.
And like I said, very, very high-end watches.
Yeah.
And high-end clothing. There was a high-end clothing store in there that was very expensive.
But everything was, The cheapest handbag in the shop was, I think it was $167. And it was a tiny, tiny little thing like that.
Yeah.
And that's not what we go on holiday for. I don't mind buying a handbag. I bought when we first went with P&O on Ariana. They used to sell Kipling. They did, and I used to usually treat myself. Yeah. And then they seem to, but they have Radley and things like that. So I bought a few Radley wash bags when we've been away, and I just treat myself to a new Radley something when we're on the ship.
Yeah,
but
no,
they didn't have any Radley. But I suppose it was all Gucci and
it was
like that. It was. They had a handbag in there for $3,000.
Yeah,
they spent $3,000 on a handbag.
Yeah, well, and then they are constantly badgering you to go to the art auctions. I don't buy art. Do I look like I buy art? Look at me, you know. And there was we sat next to a lady at one lunch. She said, well, they got me to go to and they offered me $500 off of the starting price of something. And then he said to me, if you buy all three, it will only be $300,000. And she said, I wasn't buying any, let alone all three. But that kind of the idea that you could sell somebody £300,000 worth of paintings while they were on a £600 holiday. I don't know. The other thing that we didn't do, which we usually do, is we usually use the spa for something. Whether it's a haircut or a foot treatment or whatever. I usually get my nails done halfway through the cruise, don't I? For a different colour. We had no literature about the spa at all in our cabin. Normally there's a price list or a phone number. There's none of that. None of it was there. So we didn't have the information to hand. But they were standing. They had little stands sometimes where you could book in for an appointment. And that was where we saw the lady with the massage gun. So she was trying it out. Obviously, it wasn't this one; it was a different one. But she was trying it out on a colleague, wasn't she? Yes. And for a demonstration. And if we had been in less of a hurry, I think you would have stopped and asked her to try it on you. I would have done, but it was the cost of it. So it probably doesn't sound too much, but it was $2 a minute. $2 a minute. A minute. Yeah. Plus 20% service charge. Oh, we'll talk about the service charges in a bit because she'll go. $2 a minute plus a 20% standard service charge. So you're looking at, on top of your gratuities, because there are gratuities payable on Royal Caribbean, which P&O have got rid of now. Yeah, that's $19 a day per person. Yeah, not per cabin, per person. So you're already paying best part of £35 a day for gratuities to the staff, and then they've got 20% on the spa treatments. 20% on every drink you order at any bar. Well, 18%. So I'm going to try this out on you. This Bob&Brad massage gun, and I'm not going to charge you $2 per minute. No, you're not. I'm going to do it for the bargain price of only £1 a minute, and I think that's. But I have to work out how to work it first. So the Bob&Brad massage gun. Let me. You can keep your clothes on a second. So let me tell the people. I have kept my clothes on. This is going on the interweb. It is battery powered, or you can charge it with a USB-C, which is what we've done. So I hope we've charged it enough. It is developed by physical therapist Bob&Brad, who have YouTube channel, and I'll try and link that as well for you guys. So we've got the Q2 mini massage gun. The intense massage provides immediate pain relief and wakes up the muscles throughout your body. Triggering a myofascial release and enhancing your body's ability to regenerate cells and repair itself. Excellent. We'll try it my shoulder. So basically you'll be Doctor Who when we're finished. Excellent. It is very portable, as you can see. This is ideal for travelling with. So if we went on another cruise, perhaps we take our own massage gun, set ourselves up in a corner opposite the spa, and charge and undercut them. I've got to work out how to put it together, and I probably should have read the instructions, but I'm not trying it on myself, so I don't care. Well, the instructions are here. I do happen to care, so you know. So there's 5 different heads. I've got my glasses. 5 different heads. There's the gun, and there's 5 different heads in there, and I don't know which head does what. Yeah, I picked this up. I don't have my glasses on. Oh, okay. You hold the gun. Oh, don't shoot me. Here's my user manual. All the basic safety bits, you know, don't drop it in the pool and stuff like that. It's very heavy. It is very heavy. It's got some serious weight. It feels like a really good bit of kit. You could use this as a weapon. It takes about 3 hours for a full charge. So we haven't charged it fully, but we've charged it a bit because we should have been a bit more organised. Hang on while I take my specs off so I can read. It doesn't work while you're charging it. That's fine. We've unplugged it. It will automatically shut off after 10 minutes of continuous use. If it's not getting overheated, you can turn it on again by pressing the power button for 3 seconds. Otherwise, you'll need to cool down for a few minutes. If it doesn't turn on, it's because the battery is too low. No massage head is installed on the massage gun before the first use. To install a massage head, take it out of the packaging, insert it into the socket on the massage gun, and make sure it is secured.
Well, this is the one they had at Royal Caribbean, so this is the one we're going to use.
Does look the same one, does it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a ball head? What have you got?
No,
that's an air cushion head.
That's the ball head.
You've got the air cushion head, which is for relaxation of sensitive body parts. You want the ball head for large muscle groups like quads, glutes, extreme muscles, and for joint soreness. The U-shaped head is for spine, neck, and shoulder for sensitive muscles and soft tissues. And then there's a bullet head, which is for joints, deep tissue, trigger points, and small muscle areas like feet and wrists, and a flat head for all body parts. Utilise the BOB&BRAD massage gun before, during, or after your workout for maximum benefits. This massage gun can help accelerate muscle tissue responsiveness by increasing hydration, range of motion, and function to tight muscles. And then there's a little bit that tells you what to do where. So on the chest, you should use the ball head. My chest doesn't look like that. Her nipples are pointing outwards instead of down. On the abs, you should do 2 minutes with the ball head. Upper back, is that you?
Shoulder.
Shoulder, ball head. Shoulder, ball head. Sweep from A to B on each side for 1 minute and use it for a duration of 2 minutes. So you could have had $4 worth on ship, but we're going to give you a free go now.
Okay.
No crying, okay?
I'm going to cry.
She might cry.
I might cry trying to turn round.
Are you doing it fully closed?
Yeah, that's... that is where my problem area is there.
Okay. So you guys can't see because we're sat the wrong way around for this, but I'm going to do it on this side of that shoulder. If I can turn it on. Turning it on. Turning it on. Okay, so this is the first level. Can you tell the camera how it feels?
That does feel really good.
I like the fact that you can do it on yourself because this is...
Yeah, this is definitely worth the $4 I'm paying you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've just earned $4 just like that. Do you want to go up a level?
Yeah, you can do.
This is the second intensity.
That is really good.
Does it? Can you feel any pain?
No, none at all, which is unusual because with my shoulder.
Is there any bit that when you prod it yourself normally feels painful?
The top there.
So if I come along there, tell me if it hurts.
No, it doesn't hurt at all.
Oh, interesting. The weird thing is that
I can feel my teeth chattering. It's
I
really
can see
weird.
Tommy's flesh vibrating as I run it over.
That's my fat. Shut up.
Okay, going to go off another level.
It's my loose skin around my muscle. It's not.
This is level 3.
Yeah, that one's a lot more intense.
Painful or?
No, not at all.
Interesting. I'm hoping this will be good for my knee. It glides very easily over the skin. I didn't know if you were perhaps meant to use lube or anything, but you don't need to.
No,
you don't use anything with it. It just glides over.
Absolutely amazing. That's the sort of thing you could just sit there all day and just...
You
know when you go for massages and you get to that point where you don't want them to end?
Yeah.
This is a bit like that. Yeah.
This is level 4, I think.
Yeah, absolutely still no pain.
And yeah, I'm going over the bit that normally hurts when you prod it.
Yeah.
Is there another level, do we think? Yeah. When I touch it with my finger, my finger bounces off it. It's so intense.
Now that one does feel a little bit too intense. That
Right.
feels like it's really kind of like...
I don't know if you can go back down or you have to go up. I think you have to go up through them to go back down. Right, so that was 4. 4 was before.
4 was fine.
Yeah.
5 was a little bit too intense. I can actually feel my teeth chattering. It's that. you can just like...
I'll try it on my nose. Will I regret it?
Yes.
No! Now, yeah, you have a go on yourself while Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I worked for a well-known party plan company for many years. Some of you will not be surprised to hear that. And some of our appliances, you used to try them on the end of your nose to test the vibration. They weren't as intense as that. Oh.
I'm alright, you carry on.
She's fine. Okay, I've lost that. So, that is the BOB&BRAD Q2 mini massage gun. All the links will be in the description box for you and on the screen if there's anything pertinent. I'll put it on the screen now. And that has just saved us. You're only supposed to use it for 2 minutes. I think we've been going for about 5.
Okay. Let's do the other
That
side.
saved us $8. She can do the other side now. Oh, I think that's wicked. I'm well impressed with that.
I am really.
Thank you, Bob and Brad, for sending me that. Thank you. And that's not even fully charged. We didn't even charge it fully, so I don't know how long we'd get on that. We charged it for probably about 20 minutes while we were making a previous video. So I don't know how long you'd get. I think it says it'll run for up to 4 hours. Yeah. If it's fully charged, but I've lost the information. I've lost the information that tells you how long it'll run for. I do want to try it on my knee. I can't get my knee up to the camera. Oh, it is odd, isn't it? But it's nice. Oh, my knee likes that. That's really, really... I feel like if I could sit at home... See, I've got an odd lump here. I wonder if I could vibrate that and make it go away. I feel like if I could sit at home after work and sit and do that for 10 minutes... Maybe not 10 minutes, I don't have to read. I have to read the instructions and see how long I can safely do it for. But that's really good, isn't it?
It's amazing, yeah.
And this is a decent bit of kit. This is not a cheap rubbishy thing at all. This is really, it feels so quality. Oh, that's nice.
Like, can you imagine ever being able to put that amount of pressure on your knee without it hurting? No, that's how my shoulder felt.
No, this here, if I push it, it hurts. But when I did this, it doesn't. And these bits here, these are lymphedema lumps. I can feel it tingling on there, but it's not painful. Oh, that's nice. If you were, if you have tight muscles, like sometimes you wake up and your neck's all tight and whatever. And it says you can use it post-workout as well, so I guess I don't do that many workouts.
No, I walk occasionally, but I don't. And the thing is, I mainly don't work out. I used to love going to the gym and I used to love the rowing machine. But when I hurt my shoulder, I couldn't do it. So it'd be absolutely interesting to see how that would work with my shoulder.
Yeah.
Whether or not I could get that strength back in it with it. That would be...
Okay, we should be talking about Royal Caribbean.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob and Brad, for sending us that. We're very pleased, and we might end up fighting over it. There's a strong chance that we'll end up scrapping over it.
Back to Royal Caribbean.
Back to Royal Caribbean.
That might have been worth the $2 a minute.
We saved the money we went in the spa, and we're not sorry about that, are we, really?
No, not really.
But food-wise, let's talk about the food, because that's always a big part of any cruise. The food, I think the food was better than P&O has got.
Yes, the dinner menu, although there weren't very sort of similar kind of choices, but yeah, the food was really good. But then P&O is always restaurant quality food, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always. I think the service was better than P&O has got as well. In
buffet.
Yeah. Oh.
Was better than P&O. Sorry,
yes.
P&O.
The layout of the buffet was better for starters. The buffet was much more manoeuvrable but aroundable.
Yeah, that's.
You could get around the buffet a lot easier. Although there's a lot of people using it, they had spaced it more and you could move around better. One of the issues for us on the P&O buffet is that it's very compact. The actual food collection area is very compact and frustrating. And the actual layout of the Windjammer buffet on Anthem of the Seas was much more accessible. Yeah, it was a lot more accessible to go around. You didn't feel that sometimes especially when it's busy times, it's like a bit of a cattle market feel to it. But yeah, I did like the layout of the Windjammer, which was their sort of buffet style restaurant up on the 14th deck. Yeah, did like that. The service in the main restaurants, I believe that we had better service than we have had on recent P&O cruises. However, P&O have got rid of their tips, and when they got rid of their compulsory gratuities that you paid anyway, I think a lot of people will have taken that to assume that they don't have to tip at all. Because of that, I think the staff are now earning less in the restaurant than they were, and they don't have the incentive to give you such good service. On Royal Caribbean, you still pay automatic gratuities, but additionally, of course, you can tip at your table if you want to tip your server for the week. We had the same waiters for the week, which was nice. Yeah. And of course, we did tip them at the end of the week. And I think they have that incentive then to give you the good service because they know there's going to be something a little bit more in it for them. Yeah, but the staff were amazing. Wherever
wherever you went on the ship.
I think it'll be interesting when we go back to P&O to see if the service is better, worse, or about the same than it used to be. Because I do believe that since P&O got rid of the compulsory tipping, the standard of service has dropped. And I think they're finding it difficult to get the staff. I don't know if it is the standard of service. I think a lot of the difference is that P&O have gone to freedom dining a lot more. So Ventura, you could still have set dining times, couldn't you? But we on had the freedom new dining, ships, but on the new bigger ships, on Iona, freedom dining. It's all freedom dining. And I don't think there's that incentive. They're not serving you for a fortnight. Yeah, you don't see that waiter again quite often. So he's not going to get his tip out of you. Whereas when we were on Ariana and we had set dinner service, the waiters, the service there was amazing because they knew at the end of it we were probably going to tip. Yeah. So there was an incentive. But the guys in the freedom dining, they're not going to see you from one day to the next. No, depending on where you sit in the restaurants and things. So I don't think it's so much stuff. I think that's what it is. Like you say, I think it's the freedom dining that's done it, that we've got used to with the last 2 P&O cruises. Yeah. Molly's just joined us, by the way. Molly doesn't have any opinions on cruising because she's never been, but she thought she'd join in the video anyway. Yes, I do love you. So yeah, the food was everything you could wish it to be. It was ample. They didn't run out of anything. It was always fresh. The salads were beautiful salads. Yeah, beautiful layout salads. Beautiful salad options. And I know you're looking at me thinking, did you eat any salad? I did eat some salad. Wonderful bread. We're not talking about the bread. Yeah, we had salad with our bread, so it was okay. Yeah, salad cancels out the bread, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I would say the food is everything you could want it to be. I was very pleased with my drinks package. I've never purchased a drinks package on a cruise before, but they offer a refillable soda cup. It worked out £9 something a day, and we all had the same drinks package. And for that, you could have unlimited sodas and waters, sparkling waters, and stuff like that. Out of the machines, yeah. Out of the machines. The negative was that we only found 3 machines aboard the entire ship. 4. Maybe there were more. There were 4. There was 2 in the Windjammer and 2 in the pizza place. Oh yeah, 2 next to each other in the pizza place. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, but they're only in 2 locations throughout the ship. Now, having said that, maybe there were more. Maybe there's one on the sports deck that we didn't see because we didn't go up there. Yeah. So in the interest of pure honesty, we may just not have found others. But also, one of them was almost constantly out of order. And one of the drawbacks Tammy found, was that if one of the machines gave her a drink that the syrup had gone, and so it had no flavour. So she poured that away and went to refill it, and it told her she couldn't have another one for at least 3 minutes. And I realised that's how they prevent people giving drinks to each other. I get that, but that was frustrating when the drink you had wasn't any good, wasn't it? Yeah, the flavour had gone in the Diet Coke, and so it was just cherry flavoured soda water, which was not. But I do think that drinks package saved me a fortune on what I normally spend on board on drinks. And also with the drinks package, you could use it in the bars as well. So when we went to go and watch the band that night, you didn't have to have your cup. You could just order a Diet Coke, which was a bit strange for us as well, because we thought we'd have to carry these full cups around with us all week. But to find out that when we went into the restaurant, we could have soft drinks in the restaurant. Yeah. And that was fine. That made it a lot easier, didn't it? We didn't feel like we had to cart those around with us everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, it was. I think the soda package was definitely worth the money. When you looked at the bar prices when we got on the ship, I think the soda package was definitely worth. And of course, they do other levels of packages. They do a refreshment package that includes tea and coffees, and then they do alcohol packages as well. Just weren't any good to me. Something came into my head a minute ago that I wanted to say, and it's gone straight back out again. It's shot through. I didn't grab it in time. Okay. I don't know if it was related to the soda package or not. The only other thing we've mentioned is the entertainment. Well, we're not going. We do have to go there. The entertainment was very different to what we had previously experienced on P&O. Very different. Yeah. So, firstly, the bingo. The bingo was very different. And we like a bit of bingo. We do. I like a bit of bingo. And on P&O, we play bingo whenever it is available. So which is every sea day. Every sea day. They don't play it on port days. No. But they do play it on every sea day. And on P&O, it costs £15 per person per session to play the bingo. And for that, I think you play 5 pages. Yes, it's a canoe for 2, they call it, don't they? Yeah. So you get 2 lots of books. So if you're only one person and you only want 1 lot of books, I think you pay £20. Yeah. But if there's 2 of you, it works out £15 each. And for that, they play 5 pages, and on the first line they do any line, and then on the second line they do any 2 lines, and then on the third line they do top and bottom line or something like that. On the fourth line it's just the middle line, and the 5th page is a full house, and they always do the same way. And it's a little bit slower than the bingo that we're used to at home, because obviously we play bingo at Bingo Club 3000, that's quite rapid. It is slower on P&O, but it isn't excruciatingly slow. On Anthem, you would have thought that they were dealing with people who'd never seen numbers before. It was painfully slow. When he started, he said there'll be 10 seconds between each number. We went, that's quite a long time. I think there was more like 10 minutes between each number. It was excruciatingly slow, and it was encouraging. If you got down to the point where you wanted one number, you had to shout out chicken dinner, and
then you had to wait.
And then you had to wait while everybody booed you, and then he went on to the next number. And with that, every time anyone got down to one, they had to shout that, and it was just so long. Tamsin almost fell asleep during bingo. Tamsin struggled to stay awake.
Yes, yeah. I'd say we like bingo. We go to every P&O one. But it was the cost of it as well.
Yeah, it was a lot more money.
It was $70.
Mm-hmm.
$70
for two people. $35 per person, so about 30 quid.
Yeah, each.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what it would cost for two. Possibly the money was better, because I know the first one was like $200 and something we were playing for, whereas P&O, it's usually around the £100 mark, isn't it? But I don't think no amount of prize money in the world would have made me sit through that.
We didn't go back. We went to bingo on one occasion and we didn't go back, even though they were doing it through the week. We didn't go. We were like, I can't do it. I can't do that.
Yeah, it was so.
So that was that's one of the things we look forward to on board, is the bingo. We also look forward to the talks and the lectures and whatever. Mm-hmm. And because we didn't have the daily entertainment sheet, you couldn't see that very clearly on the app where these things were going to be, and they all seemed to be like, there was an art lecture, and I thought they were going to try and sell you a painting while you were there, and then there were talks about the port stops, which I don't want to go to because I'm not really interested in that kind of thing. We do our own thing. When we went on P&O, there were guest speakers who talked about their lives, their experiences, and we really enjoyed that.
Yeah, on Iona we went. There was a guy, wasn't there, that's doing the talk about the Tower of London. Yeah,
that was really interesting. He'd worked at the Tower for 40 years or something.
Yeah, he was a beefeater at the Tower of London for 40 years, and he did talks about, the first one was about what it was like to live there, and then all about the famous people who'd been in the Tower, and then all about the ghosts that were supposed to haunt, and it was fascinating. Yeah, and then there was a chap who... Jim
Whelan, who's spent his life being an extra on television and talked about his experiences of that, and showed you clips we showed he'd been in. You went, oh, there he is, and stuff like that. And it was just really interesting. We didn't get that. There wasn't that wasn't available, and the evening entertainment left us wanting, I have to say.
Yeah,
there's another doglet. Hi,
hey Doodlebug.
They have the We Will Rock You Queen musical on board, but they only did 3 showings over the entire week. 2 of those were on the same day, and one of those matinee showing on a port day when people were ashore. So people were very upset that they'd not been able to see that. There was, as far as we could ascertain, there were no guest musicians. There were only the in-house musicians. They were very good, but you'd seen them. There was an in-house singer, but there weren't any guest singers, there weren't any tribute acts, things like that. And then there was Spectra's Cabaret, which we went to on the last night.
We felt like we should do something, didn't we?
And I don't know if it was that we didn't know what to expect, or whether or what, but it was basically a light show. And apparently there used to be aerialists in it. This is what I was reading it afterwards when we got home. They used to have aerials in it, aerial gymnasts, I think. Yeah. That would have been interesting. They don't have that anymore. They do some floor dancing, most of which you can't see because it's a stepped, tiered arena and you can't see what's happening. And and it was just peculiar, very, very peculiar.
It was weird.
I looked across at Tammy, and Tammy was like, and then I looked at Tamsin, and Tamsin was like, Tina wasn't there. Tina had gone to bed, and we think she got the better deal, to be honest. Yeah. I felt bad when we first went, because we went very spur of the moment, we'll go and see that. And I felt bad because Tina had gone on down to the cabin, and I thought, she's going to think that's really mean of us because we've gone to the show without her. To be honest, I think she had the lucky escape.
I think she had the better, the better one of that deal.
Yeah. So we found the entertainment really, really sadly lacking. Very, very disappointing. And
we went to go watch Grease one night, didn't we?
They had an outdoor cinema. There's no indoor cinema either on Anthem. Now, every P&O ship we've been on, there's been an indoor cinema, but if there was one on Anthem, they certainly didn't mention it.
No, I didn't find it.
They put films on the outdoor screen, which is above one of the pools. That's fine if you're in nice weather, but most of the time you're not.
Yeah, they got more enjoyable experience when we found out they rented out blankets.
Yes, you could rent out a blanket. That was the rental thing on the towels annoyed us.
Yeah.
So you can go and collect your towels from the towel bay, and you have to scan your card, and if you do not return your towel, there's a £25 charge. $25 charge per towel. Now, I could understand why they would not want people to take the towels home, but what this meant was that if you had left your towel on your deck chair for any reason and somebody had taken it away, you were liable for a $25 fee.
It seemed a bit mean.
Because somebody else might have wandered past and taken your towel. So we were a bit paranoid about that. P&O weren't quite so precious about their towels.
Yeah.
They weren't even very nice towels. You wouldn't want to steal them.
You wouldn't have done.
I think, the summing up, I think what you'll probably get from this, if you haven't quite clicked, is that we think we're P&O girls.
Yeah. I think we'll go back to the thing about the service charge.
The service charge. Okay.
So
buckle up.
We went to Vigo, which we weren't supposed to go to Vigo. We were supposed to go to Le Havre, but we ended up going to Vigo. We've been to Vigo before. We've enjoyed Vigo, haven't we? It was fine last time we went on a trip.
Yeah, most people who actually got off at Vigo said they were very happy that Le Havre had been cancelled. They thought they got a better deal by going to Vigo.
Vigo's lovely. So we've been there before, but we came back to the ship early, didn't we? It was the last port stop. We were quite tired.
Yeah.
And we decided that we would go and get a drink. Now, we could have gone right opposite the patisserie where we went. There was a 24-hour coffee shop. I could have got free coffee. Carla could have gone and used the machine, but you didn't have your cup, did you?
Didn't have my cup.
So we decided to go to the patisserie. We ordered a Diet Coke and I ordered a latte. And the fact that I stood in the queue, I paid, because obviously the gentleman was quite abrupt in telling me that when I handed my card that the soda package didn't work for the Diet Coke I got for Carla. I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then I moved around the counter. I took Carla's drink over. I moved around the counter. I stood there and I waited for my coffee, very much the same as what I would do in any Costa or Starbucks or anywhere else. But I was a little bit miffed to find out I'd been charged 18% service charge for standing there and taking my
carrying
own drink.
things to your own table, yeah.
I think that was, I know they said that they've got an 18% service charge in every single bar.
Drink, in every bar, there's an 18% service charge on every drink that you order.
Which they tell you about up front, but I was a bit miffed to find out that in a place where you take your own drinks to the table, they still have an 18% service charge.
Yeah, I've received very little service for my 18% at this point.
Yeah, and then also, on top of the 18%, there's also a bit on the receipt where you can add a tip. So even though you're already paying 18%, there's a little bit of a bit where you can even in the shops, there's a bit where you can add a gratuity for buying a jumper.
Yeah.
Now,
I realise that I'm going to have US viewers who are watching this and they're going to be that's perfectly normal. We pay tips. I get that.
Yeah.
And in England, we are less of a tipping culture here. Our servers are generally paid. We have the minimum wage, and our servers are paid a minimum wage. We all get the same minimum wage in the entire country. Nobody gets less than that, and therefore they're not reliant on their tips to get their wage to a living point. Which is why we have less of a tipping culture in the UK. Now, we still tip when we go to restaurants.
I always tip.
If we receive good service. I don't tip for bad service. I'm not an idiot.
I tip. Probably because I've worked. In
I've worked in hospitality, and I understand that. Also, a tip can make somebody's day.
Yeah.
A tip can turn somebody's day from good to bad. So we do tip. It's not that we're not tippers. I would not like you to think, oh, listen to these two mean cows.
No, we tipped when we went to Wonderland. We tipped, and then we tipped the serving staff at the end of the cruise. We left a tip for our cabin staff. It's not that we're not tippers. We're not. But I don't
like to tip for something I haven't received.
Yeah, I think that's for me. For the point is, I would, if we'd have been in a cafe, because you said to me once, we went to one of the port stops and we stopped and I got a coffee and you got a Diet Coke and the bill was like something like €3 and I just left €5. And you went, you do realise you just left like a 40% tip. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was just, I just left it. I don't look at what the amount is. I just go, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll just.
But I don't expect to tip someone who's just sitting there on a checkout. She's not.
But yeah, I don't expect to.
I want people to pay their staff a living wage in the first place.
Yeah.
You know?
That's not going to happen.
So that a tip is a bonus, not an essential. Yeah. So, yeah, that was
a bit of a sticking point because I didn't get any service.
No.
I just stood in. It was like going into Costa. It was like expecting me to go into Costa and then go to the drive-through and then expecting to pay 18% service charge for them handing me a bag through a window. Maybe that's just me. Maybe,
No, pay your staff correctly in the first place.
Maybe
and
my
then
northern is showing, but I think that is I did find that in the bars fine, but not in a coffee shop, not where you take your own drink to the table. I found that was absolutely ridiculous that you still had to pay the 18% in there.
Told you if we started off, she wouldn't stop.
Yeah, it's
okay. Well, the camera's going to run out of battery in a minute, so. In conclusion, we're P&O. We're P&O girls. We are booking a cruise for next year. Well, I wouldn't say that I would never go with Royal Caribbean again. At least if I went again, I'd know what to expect. But it would have to be a really, really good deal.
Yes.
It'd have to be a blinding deal for me to go, yes, I'll go again.
When you think
I like P&O.
We're going next year with P&O for only £300 more for an extra week than what we paid. You know, £300 more for 2 weeks.
We're going 2 weeks instead of one. It's only 300 quid more.
Than what we paid with Royal Caribbean for a week. It wasn't a cheap cruise. I mean, P&O aren't the cheapest. We look for the cheapest deals we can. So the one we're going on, the budget everyone gave me was £1,000. I brought it in at £999. I thought that was really good. And
then she starts telling us the extras we'll have to pay for. Battery's going. Battery is going. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to really scuttle through the ending now. I will have, by the time I've edited it, it'll be a bit shorter and you won't listen to us rambling quite as much. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you to Bob and Brad for the amazing massage gun, which we are very excited to receive. Do check out the links, you guys. I'm sorry for this rushed ending, but I can see the battery flashing. And we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.